with another live stream, Thursday morning live stream. First time in a good little while. First time in about 2 weeks or so that I've been live. But here I am, Thursday morning with it. Y'all tap into the live stream. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody is not just surviving but thriving. Welcome to another live stream. Your host P9. Hopefully everybody's doing well this morning. Look forward to having a nice and productive live stream this morning. Just wanted to tap in with you guys, see how you guys are doing, and to give you an update on me. I've been, if you guys have noticed, those who've been really tapped in, I have been posting a lot of the big city vlogs. I've been breaking them up into 45-minute segments because they're big city vlogs and there's a lot to cover in those cities. So I broke them up, revamped a lot of my older videos and reposted and posted them for you guys' enjoyment. I updated the intros and everything. And a lot of those videos are from 2024, but I do plan on doing some new content here pretty soon. Just waiting for the the timing and everything to become right, but yeah, that's what I'm at right now. So hopefully everybody's doing well this morning. Hopefully everybody. This might be my first live. I believe this is my first live stream that I've done in the month of May. We're almost halfway through May. This is my first live stream for the month of May, if I'm not mistaken. Goes to show you how long it's been since I've been on here. But if you're new to this channel, go check out the content. I have a lot of content. My channel's 2 years old now. I go travel to different cities and states and get the content, record content, and get the vibes, get the vibes of the city and everything like that, and also get the history, the footage, sculptures, the artwork, the people, just basically capturing the essence of the city and the town that I'm in. So I just want to make it interesting for people who may want to learn about these places, who may want to visit these places. I'll go check these places out firsthand. So if you're new to this channel and would like to check out the content, go check out the content. And I would appreciate you if you subscribe to the channel. That'll really help the channel grow. And I appreciate every ounce of support I get on this channel. So thank you kindly. We have, excuse me if I mispronounce this. Is it Tenzi? 5476. I do apologize, but if I did not get that correct, but nevertheless, thank you for tuning in to the channel, and I appreciate you for tapping into this channel. Welcome to the channel. So is it Sue? And we also have Brain Rot Blocks YZ. I got interesting name. But welcome to the live. Thanks for tuning in to the channel. And so I appreciate everybody for tapping in. And for my returning viewers, we appreciate you guys as well. Thanks for tapping back in. I want to let you guys know that I'm doing well, and this channel is I'm still going to keep posting content, new content. But so again, for those that are new who don't know what this channel is about, I travel to different places whenever I get a chance, different cities, states, and landmarks and capture the essence by recording, vlogging, and getting the history, the sculptures, the artworks, everything you can think of as it pertains to that location that I'm in. So that's in a nutshell what I do on this channel. And I'm in Alabama right now. I'm in Huntsville, Alabama. So, you know, good old South. But welcome to the live stream, guys. Everybody who's just tapped in, and also when you come in, make sure you tap the like button. Make sure you tap that like button. It's very easy. One tap of a screen, a double tap of a mouse, or a double tap of the screen and one click of a mouse, I should say. But tune in to the and get the vibes. Messi the GOAT, welcome to the live stream. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Much appreciated. You're on the other side of the world. Okay, where about? Where are you from? I can't do that. I can't jump in the water. That's against the law. That's illegal. I can't jump in this water. I mean, it's warming up. It's warming up. It's not super hot yet, but it's warming up. The sun is you know, it's warm enough, and you know, everything like that. It's a little windy out too. Welcome to the live, Hassan Ahmed. Thanks for tuning in. I prefer not to stay. Oh, okay, that's understandable. But yeah, you wanted me to drop my location. You wanted to know where I'm at. It's all good though. It's all good. Where is this place at? It's Alabama, Huntsville. Yep, the Ducks. It's burning here. You must be like in Africa or something, if I had to guess. Or you say you're on the other side of the world, Australia or something like that. Yeah, Alabama's in America. Yeah, Alabama's in America. What y'all got going on this today? Boy, Sea Life in the building. What's going on, Sea Life? I had to get on this live. It's been a minute since I did a live stream, so I decided let me get on this live this morning. Come to my favorite spot over here by the Ducks, Big Spring Park. Some people say police is racist. It just asking, not rude. Well, I mean, let me say this. I mean, at the end of the day, here's the thing. just do what you're supposed to do. Me personally, I haven't had any experience with racism here. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I haven't had any issues with that. You know, you do what you're supposed to do, follow the laws and everything like that. They ain't gonna bother you. They're not gonna bother you. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not saying I'm not gonna sit up here and say there's no such thing as, that type of, treatment, but morning. Good morning. Good. How are you? Good. But it's all about it's everybody has their own experiences. I haven't had that experience, so just basically come down here, do what you're supposed to do, follow the law, you'll be okay. That's about the best advice that I could give as far as that's concerned. Okay, what about Karens? You talking about Karens? Yeah. I mean, those. If you're talking about what I think you mean, I mean, you got those everywhere. No matter where you go, you're gonna have those type of individuals. Touch the duck. I don't think we're allowed to. We can feed them though. I know here, as far as this pond, we're not allowed to. The only thing you could do with the ducks is, I believe, is feed them, and of course you could take pictures of the ducks and take photographs, but that's about as much you could do. Like, can't fish over here. There's fish that's in the water, but it's not. They don't allow fish. They don't allow you to fish here. Oh, it's night. It's nighttime. Where you at? Yeah. They're building something over here. I'm not sure what they're building. They just built a new courthouse. They built a courthouse here a few blocks away. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're gonna build right here. Probably another government building, I would presume. It's a Thursday morning, so it's not a lot of people out here, which is cool. Sometimes that's a good thing. Especially if you're jogging or if you're just taking a stroll, you have a lot more space to maneuver. So I mean, that's pretty chill. That's the cool thing about it. Now I will say this, for anybody who may be interested in coming to Huntsville, who's not from Huntsville but may want to visit, if you're able to find street parking, especially if you come like during the day when it's not a whole lot of people here, when it's not there's a lot of vacant spots. There's a lot of vacant parking spots as far as street parking, and depending on how long you stay, it's very affordable. I mean, if you wanna chill in, like, say you want to chill downtown for like a couple of hours, 2-3 hours, it's probably like $1 to $2 or something like that. Like for 2 hours, I know it's $1. You know what I'm saying? So it's yeah. Because I know a lot of times you go to big cities, parking be an issue, especially when it comes to how much is being charged to park, hourly rates, and sometimes it be flat rates that be extremely high. But Huntsville, you don't have to really worry about that. As long as you can find a parking space, on the street. Look, at America is what you make it. Honestly, that's the best way I can answer it. Everybody has their own experience. If you ask people, the people about America, what's it like in America, they'll give you a ton of different answers. So it's really about what you make it. Your experience is what you make it. That's anywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, America has its problems like any other place in the world. But, I enjoy it. I like it. I make the best of my situation here. If you want to succeed and be a productive individual, you can do that. It's all about your mindset, really what it boils down to. There are unfortunately a lot of those incidents that take place in America. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I guess it just depends. Certain individuals might have some sort of, and I don't like to, when anybody acts like that, and anytime anybody partakes in an incident like that, when they take place, when there's an incident at a school, a lot of times they'll say, okay, that person might have had some type of mental disorder, mental illness, but I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on that. I don't really know. I don't really know if you can just chalk that up to just mental illness. Like, mentally ill people, I know mentally ill people personally, and they would not think to harm anybody. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Some people just, some people, and again, some of it might be, but let's just say somebody is being mistreated at school. They might be bullied at school or something like that, and they just lash out. That could be true, but come on now. It doesn't necessitate all of that. But maybe in their mind they feel that way. Do people speak English a lot? Yes, absolutely. English is the primary language. But of course in America, you have a whole lot of different ethnicities, a lot of immigrants here, so but the vast majority, I'd say the vast majority of the population of America speak English. That's the primary language. Of course, you do have pockets of say, you got a lot of places in Texas that are close to the Mexican border. New Mexico, where Spanish is the language. So you have like certain pockets of America where there's a large concentration of Asians, like Chinese. Especially like if you go out to California, you have different variations of Asians, like Vietnamese, Japanese, and Chinese, different generations of them, that live in those states, and they have ethnic enclaves where they speak, of course, their native language. But aside from that, it's predominantly an English-speaking country, predominantly, 7-Eleven, like the store 7-Eleven. Yeah, 7-Eleven. There's plenty of 7-Elevens. Now they don't have any 7-Elevens here in Alabama, but there's several 7-Elevens across the country. A lot of them out on the West Coast. There's a lot of them in Florida. I remember there's a lot of them in Florida, and like on the West Coast, like California and Arizona, like a lot of spots out in the West have 7-Elevens. Them the only places I can think of that have them. So like, and the thing is, different regions of America have their own like chain of gas stations that are prominent. Like, like for instance, like down south, there's a lot of Quick Trips. There's a lot of Quick Trip gas stations. Whereas in like the Midwest, they have what's called Casey's. A bunch of Casey's, like places like Missouri, Iowa. They have them Casey spots. And they have Royal Farms. Those are common like in the mid-Atlantic. Royal Farms, Wawa. Wawa. There's a lot of Wawas in Florida. But and then you have the national chains, like of course the BPs, the Shells. Those are everywhere. BP, Shell, Texacos. I don't really see much Texacos anymore. I don't see as many Texacos. I see mostly like Shell, Chevrons, and BPs. Those are the ones I see most. Then, of course, you have your truck stops that are located around the highways, the interstate highways. You have your truck stops that they serve. They're refueling spots for the trucks, and they also have the restaurants, and of course the main gas stations, and they have showers for the truckers. Those type of gas stations or truck stops are called like Pilot, Flying J, and Loves. There's plenty of those across America. For the truckers, the truckers that partake in the blue collar industry. Distribution. Taco Bell is so rare here, only 2 in the country. Wow. Yeah, there's plenty of Taco Bells in America. Several of them. Wendy's, same thing. Wendy's, several. I think every state in America has a Taco Bell. It has Taco Bell, Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, Subway. But yeah, definitely. If you really want to get a better understanding of the channel or of America, definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, because I do a lot of vlogs in different cities and states. So there's a variation of geographical locations, geographical features, depending on what part of the country you're in. You have your mountainous areas. I haven't been to like the mountains out west, but I've been to the mountains down south, which the mountains out west will probably look at the mountains down south and probably think, oh, those are nothing but just hills to compare it to them, because those mountains, like in, I'll say, for instance, in Colorado, you know, those snow-capped mountains and stuff like that. They probably look at the mountains of the Appalachians and probably look at it and be like, those are hills in comparison. So you have your mountainous areas. You have your areas where it's mostly farms, you know, farmland. You know, mostly those are like Midwestern states like Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, where it's primarily just farmland. And then you have your areas where there's a lot of beaches. Those are primarily states that are located on the, you know, you have the East Coast, the states on the East Coast like New York, New Jersey, and Florida, North Carolina, so on and so forth, that border the Atlantic Ocean. So there's a lot of beaches in those areas. There's beaches down south in Florida, of course, you know, on the Gulf of Mexico, like, or Gulf of America. They call it, like, you know, Trump calls it Gulf of America now, but Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of states located along that, along the Gulf. So you have Florida, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama. So you have those areas that touch the beach. And where else? Mountains, farmland, water. Yeah. And you have some parts of the state or the country, primarily they're mostly like in the south. You know, that's where it's mostly swamp, you know, where it's mostly swamps and stuff like that, where it gets very humid and very hot. Florida, Louisiana, Georgia, places like that. There's a lot of swampland. And it's super hard. And thanks for, oh yeah, by the way, thanks for subscribing to the channel. If you say it's super hard and impossible to find Mr. Best chocolate and stuff, I'm not familiar with it's Mr. Best chocolate. I'm honestly not familiar with that. From a chocolate standpoint, the only chocolate brands that I'm familiar with are Godiva or Godiva. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's Godiva. No, that's not chocolate, is it? Oh, I might be thinking about something else. It's based out of, it's not Godiva, I'm sorry. I think it's called, it might be Godiva, I don't know. It's some type of chocolate brand. I could have it wrong, but I know they have Hershey. Of course, Hershey chocolate, that's a staple. But I'm not really, I don't know too much about any other chocolate brands other than that. You say, what is ICE? Are you referring to it? Now, if you're asking me what ICE is, if you're referring to the Immigration Enforcement, Law Enforcement Group, then yeah, that's what it is. They're just they're a bunch of federal agents, federal law enforcement officials who enforce immigration policies here in the country. You know, I'm under this shade. Yeah, this is a canal right here. Now, they do have a lot of these. They have a lot of these canals. I'm not sure where you're from, but wherever you're from, I don't know if they have canals, but they have these canals here in America that, you know, they use these as conduits to transport different goods and products from market to market. Now, this one in particular was used to transport, you know, like cotton to different markets on the Tennessee River. I'm not quite sure why are American homes different. Well, I'm guessing because there's different types of building products, natural building products here than it would be overseas. A lot of times, like here in here in the States, for instance, they produce a lot of building materials such as marble, quartz. Of course, you have bricks. Bricks are a lot more expensive though, building materials. So they don't really build a lot of the modern day homes. They don't build much of the modern day homes out of bricks as much as they used to. But yeah, a lot of the building materials. It all depends on what type of building materials they have. So you have a lot of granite, marble, quartz, limestone, all that type of stuff. Plywood. So that's, and of course the architecture, which depending on where you go, it's like they have different architectural styles. Like, so if you go to certain cities might have architectural styles that are influenced by, say, France, Great Britain or England or whatever. You might have some architectural styles, buildings that are influenced by, ancient Egypt. So there's a various amount of architectural styles depending on what part of the country you go to. You know what I'm saying? Since you might have a lot of Spanish type architecture. If you go out to, say, Texas, California, states like that, Arizona, New Mexico, places like that. Yeah, it's not a lot of people out right now. It's unfortunately, there'll probably be more later on in the day, but it's Thursday morning. It's Thursday morning. A lot of people at work, a lot of people at school. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it is. It's a work day. So you'll see very few people out at this time. See, right now it's like almost 10 o'clock in the morning. This is like work hours. So a lot of people aren't going to be out right now. But on the weekends, it's a lot of people. Generally, it's a lot of people. You're going to see people everywhere. It just so happened I'm doing this live stream on a day where it's not, a lot of people are at work right now. Usually, like during the weekends or when there's like a big event in the city, this place is packed. Like I was easily, this how little amount of people are. I was easily able to find a parking space. I was easily able to find a parking space and just get out and walk. That's how uncrowded it is. Oh, it must be Friday where you are. Yeah, it's Thursday. Yeah, we have a different time. Yeah, it's Friday where you are. Wherever you are, you're a whole day ahead of us. It's Thursday morning here. Yeah, so yep, that's why there's such a small amount of people, because see, I just came over here to the other side. There's the courthouse. So you'll have some people at the courthouse because, the courthouse usually stay busy. It's just that part of the city. It's just that part. There wasn't that much going on. But that's just one part of downtown. Exactly. When When you're sleeping, I'm awake, and when you're awake, I'm sleeping. Exactly. It's a total different time, total different time zone. A broken truck. Are you talking about that truck? No, it's that truck right there. It's not broken. It's just it's that, yeah, they're loading and unloading products. So it's just parked in the middle of the street, just, you know, with their emergency lights on, or their hazard lights on. Yeah. See, a lot of these places are not even open right now. That's how early it is. Oh yeah, that's the police. Yeah, that's the police. It's the county sheriff. See, it's a little bit more difficult to find parking over here, street parking over in this part, because it's right around the courthouse. A lot of this is street parking for the courthouse, people that go to the courthouse and stuff. Wow. I don't know how I didn't notice this sculpture. I never noticed this sculpture before when I was doing my vlogs. Oh, that's because, it was just built in 2025. That's why I haven't done a vlog in Huntsville ever since 2024. So that's why this wasn't in any of my videos. This was just built in 2025 by Cecilia Mosley. So they're only going to have this on temporary exhibition up through October 2027. But it's really nice sculpture, very colorful. In my country, parking is free. Oh, that's good. That's good. It should. Yeah, that's exactly how it should be. That's exactly how it should be. But you know, a lot of these cities, especially like the big cities, they charge crazy amount of money for taxes. I mean, for parking. They charge a crazy amount of money for parking. So, yeah. Oh yeah, that it looks strange. Yeah, so it does kind of look like a strange piece of art, but that's how a lot of the abstract art is. You know, a lot of abstract art is kind of like it's structured that way, I guess, because art is all about interpretation. You know what I'm saying? It's about expression for the creator, and it's about interpretation for those who view it. You know, for the observers. 365 staying. Okay, so that's you, Ryan. What's up, Ryan? What's going on? Man, I'm good, Ryan. Just chilling, man. Just chilling on this Thursday morning here in Alabama. Just taking a little morning stroll through the city. Lots of parking. Yeah, lots of parking meters. Exactly. And what you're hearing right now are like church bells. So sometimes sometimes at this time of the morning, they'll have these church bells ringing. In my country, you only get a fee if you park illegally. Exactly. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. You know, maybe like park, maybe some people might get a fine if they double park, if they park in 2 spaces, or if they, park in a restricted area. You know, definitely. Parked in like some reserved spot. You know, something like that. Good morning. Is it hard to live in America? Not necessarily. I mean, well, it depends on where you live. I'll say that. It depends on where you live, and it can be hard if you live in an area where there's a high cost of living. When there's really high cost of living, and you have a job or you're working, and you're not getting paid on the same level as what the costs are. In other words, you don't make enough you barely make enough to survive, to get by. Now that can be tough, so there's different aspects of it that can be tough, but overall, honestly, it just depends on where you live. It's really hard to say yes, and it's really hard to say no. Just to give like a definitive answer, but only thing I can really say is that it just depends on where you live and how you manage your money and all that type of stuff. Yeah, all depends. Oh, this is Constitution Hall. So I think Huntsville was the first capital of Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. The first constitutional convention took place in Constitution Hall right here. I didn't even know this was down here. It's a very historic landmark right here downtown. First constitutional convention, yep, took place right here. Yeah, a lot of those buildings, like the building I just looked at, that's an old building that was built back in like the early 1800s. You know, see how old that building is? And what they do here in America, and they probably do, I'm pretty sure they probably do this all over the world too, but it's a real big thing here in America where a lot of these older buildings, they'll preserve these buildings, they'll preserve them, you know, from time to time, restore them, and, you know, just maintain them, you know, like do what they need to do to preserve them for historical purposes. And then they'll put markers in front of them. They'll put historical markers in front of them to pretty much tell the story of that particular structure. Like even these buildings right here, very old buildings, you know. Yes, a lot of these buildings have been up since slavery. And here in the deep south, they have a lot of plantation houses and stuff like that are still up, that are still, you know, some of them have been repurposed for museums, repurposed for museums and whatnot. Some of them are private residencies. But a lot of these older buildings, you know, sometimes, you know, even in some cases, they might restore or they might repurpose some of these older buildings for, like, they might put it's the shops. It just depends on where you at. See that right there? That's a museum, the children's museum. And in these buildings, they have a lot of historical value, So I'm pretty sure the insurance, you know, the insurance on those bad boys, they pay a lot of insurance on these buildings to, you know, because, yeah, being that they are so old. But they have to make sure what happens if it gets destroyed. Now, if it gets destroyed, you know, of course, obviously, I mean, depending on how it gets destroyed, if it's via natural disaster, then, you know, it's not much that can be done about that, aside from, you know, maybe they try to rebuild it, but, you know, try to rebuild it to somewhat to how the original form was, and, you know, that's very, very difficult. Like, here's another one right here. It's called the Neal House. Stephen Neal, early settler to Huntsville in 1808, was appointed as Madison County's first sheriff. Neal was the first elected sheriff in 1819 after Alabama became a state, and he served until 1822. And see, even at the bottom of it right there, they show who was responsible for restoring the building, you know, who was Toyota Motor Manufacturing, Alabama, and they have, you know, the Boardman Building. This is another one right here. This is where one of the earliest frontier papers called the Alabama Republican was printed. And in 1819, John Boardman was both editor and publisher. And this site not only served as his home, but it was also his law office, print shop, and also housed Madison County's first public library. The Boeing Company was the restoring partner. So yeah, these buildings get restored, and they have partnerships. They have you know, local, I guess, like organizations, foundations who come together and you know, make sure they preserve these buildings. You know, so basically what you have is, in a lot of these cities, you have old historical buildings mixed in with modern buildings. Like this building is a lot more modern right here. That's a little more of a modernized building. Why is Donald Trump still president? And people, hey, the people voted him back in, you know. That's the best way I can put it, you know. In most cases, that's how it is. Yeah, like a lot of the shorter buildings. Yeah, a lot of the shorter buildings are the, older ones, and the taller ones. A lot of, cause see, back in the old historical days, a lot of the buildings, like the 1800s, a lot of buildings were smaller. The high rises and the skyscrapers and all that. That wasn't until like 20th century, like 1900s. When they started building those high rises and skyscrapers, that was like at that time, those were like the modern built type of buildings. So a lot of these big cities, Atlanta, Atlanta, Huntsville, Miami, so on and so forth. A lot of these cities before they became, especially like Chicago, Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte, cities like that with a bunch of tall buildings. Prior to that, prior to them even becoming a city, or in their early days of the city, they had they had a lot of smaller buildings. 3-4 stories at the most. This was once a hardware store called Harrison Brothers. Harrison Brothers Hardware. And this was built 1897, restored 2003. Now this right here is the Alabama state flag. Now I don't know, maybe Scotland had some influence on it. Maybe it had Scottish influence, I'm not sure. But that's the Alabama state flag. You see that rocket right there? This is what Huntsville's known for. Huntsville's known for their space, their rockets in science. They have the Space Center here in Huntsville. So they do a lot of space research, all that type of stuff right here. But I'm back where I was earlier, so just had to take a little stroll. A lot of people don't realize or forget how big Huntsville really is. But I'm gonna wrap up this live stream, guys. I just wanted to walk around, give you a walk around Huntsville. This live stream's longer than I thought it would be, but it was really cool vibing with y'all. And Sue, man, thank you for tuning in to this live stream. Feel free to come back for a future live when I do another live stream, and also tune into the content. I appreciate you for subscribing. And thanks again, man. And y'all guys have a great day. Peace.